Hey, good afternoon. It's good to have you with us. This is eNCA. You're watching today. The Gauteng Education MEC, Matume Chilwane, is urging parents to accept placement offers as soon as possible in order to free up space. Chilwane says over 5,000 applicants have not yet accepted their offers. This, he says, clogs up the system. Chilwane was giving an update on grade 1 and grade 8 placements for 2023, and eNCA's Heidi Giokos attended that briefing and joins us now for an update. And so, Heidi, I think the key is to basically distinguish 2023 from the experiences of 2022, 2021, and so on and so forth, which is the situation where in the first few weeks, not even 1 week, several weeks after schooling starts in a new year, you have parents who are desperate, who are going from one district office to another, trying to secure spaces for their children. I guess then, what is the update from the MSc around trying to avert exactly that situation?
So, Tulas, what we do understand is that according to Gauteng Education, they are quite confident that they will be able to handle the over 3,000 grade 1 and grade 8 applications that have been received. Majority of them have been placed. Over 87% have already been placed in allocated schools for next year. 12%, however, have not been allocated, and that amounts to about 35,000 grade 1 and grade 8 learners that have not been placed, the majority being in grade 8, which is, of course, a crucial year, so is grade 1. But according to the MEC for Education in the province, they believe that they will be able to place the 35,000 that have not been placed as yet. What we also do understand is that if you have not applied for grade 1 or grade 8 as of yet, you will be able to do so from the 20th of December until the 20th of January. So for late applications, you still have some time. But as you rightfully say, every year it's a crisis after a crisis. You see parents sometimes protesting out schools or outside district offices because their child has not been placed. But the MEC says they have the situation under control, and oftentimes you find those parents that are protesting and that are unhappy with the placements is oftentimes because they're not happy with a particular school. But the MEC says there's space and they are able to accommodate the over 300,000 grade 1 and grade 8 learners. Let's listen to the MEC on that.
We've got 5,485 applicants who have received offers. Their parents have not accepted them. And this is a problem because it clogs the system, it delays. You'll find that maybe the learner has been offered space in 2 or 3 schools. Until they accept that particular offer, those spaces in the system will cover them as currently been filled. So they need to assist us by accepting one of the places so that they free up the system so that we can also then move and begin to place our learners as well. So that is one of the big problems we're having.
So Heidi, I suppose the process they're busy with now has to do with the dynamic that they can control to a certain extent, in that it has to do with the applications already received that they can compute and analyze and know how many they are. But there's the other dynamic of people who flock into Gauteng at various points for various reasons, economic reasons and change of circumstance, that are not already captured in the system. What are they saying about trying to accommodate? Because if I remember correctly, the times I've seen you do this story, that has always been a significant dynamic, has it not? The people that then arrive in Gauteng after the process is done and dusted and find themselves looking for a school for their children.
Yes, I just want to add, following what the MEC just said in that soundbite, is that the MEC is saying that sometimes parents also cause some challenges for the department because over 5,000 parents have not accepted placement offers for learners, and this becomes complicated because on the system it looks as though learners have been placed, yet they haven't been really accepted into one particular school. And the MEC is saying that parents must also take up the responsibility and accept that, and sometimes they don't because they're not really happy with a particular school because it's either option 1 or 2 or 3 that they have been allocated, and perhaps they wanted option 3 or option 1. So it becomes very challenging for the department, and they want parents to take responsibility. But also, again, as you mentioned, you have parents moving to Gauteng, and they then need to place their children, and sometimes it's a very late process. It's way beyond the past late application deadline of the 20th of January. And then you have an influx of people at various schools across the province that want a specific school. For example, Pretoria Acacia is a major problem, because that school can only accommodate a certain amount of people, yet the applications is almost in the thousands, and that becomes difficult because the department cannot place learners there, and parents insist on placing learners there. So there are many challenges, but the MEC seemed rather confident to us. And again, I'm going to say this, as I said previously, the test is going to come in January and February, when learners actually need to start grade 1 and 8, and whether or not they will be allocated, and whether or not we are going to see what we've been seeing at district offices year after year. But let's listen to the MEC on this matter once again.
We are opening for late applications from the 20th of December up to the 20th of January. You know that Gauteng is it's a province where we have a lot of in-migration, and you'll find that some parents will be bringing their children to the province. So we are opening this process for them largely, and for those that who might have missed the deadline, the first process, they will be given an opportunity to apply. So the dates are there, 20th of December this year, 2022, up to the 20th of January 2023 for grade 1 and grade 8. So the online system will be open for those late applicants.
Heidi, lastly, what is the department saying about the reasons why parents would be given an offer of placement as early as now, but not be responsive to the offer? I'm just trying to figure out, this is clearly a good initiative to try and be efficient in terms of placement of pupils well in advance, so that no time is lost at the beginning of the schooling year. But it has clearly run into many, many problems. And I think maybe over time, they're starting to get a sense of what are some of the reasons why. Could it be a breakdown in communication, for example, where they communicate an offer, but it doesn't reach the parent? And what are they saying are the main reasons why they're not seeing, well, they see some parents not being responsive to offers?
I think it's a number of reasons, Tulas. One could be perhaps they've missed the communication. I think the biggest one is the fact that parents themselves are still deciding. Perhaps the one parent has changed place of work, or they've changed addresses, they don't stay in a particular area anymore. Therefore, sending their child to that particular school might be a challenge, getting to the school and from the school. And sometimes, often you find that parents are not very happy with the particular placement of a specific school. They would have opted for their option 1. That's why when you have option 1, 2, and 3, your option 1 is what you want, and sometimes you get option 3. And parents sometimes say that's not what they wanted, but so the department's saying, well, we couldn't give you option 1 or 2, so you have to take option 3. And that's possibly why they are delaying the acceptance of the various offers. But again, it causes huge challenges, because if you as a parent are going to decline option 1 and 2 and accept the option 3 that's been offered to you by the department, the department could have allocated another learner to option 1 and 2. So it becomes a little bit complicated. But the good thing here is that, maybe not for parents that haven't accepted yet and are still deciding, the good thing is that the department has an auto system that will immediately accept and place learners by the 30th of November. We're on the 27th of November today, so 3 more days to go. And parents, if they have not accepted yet, they will be automatically accepted into the options that the department has placed them in.
I'm glad I asked you that, because that's a major thing that parents should be aware of. It will auto-accept and place by the 30th of November.
Yes, that's correct. It will auto and accept by the 30th of November. So parents, hopefully you're watching. because you don't have much time. You have 3 days left
Absolutely.
to accept this.
Heidi Giokos, thank you for that update. That's eNCA's Heidi Giokos there, updating us about the process of placement of pupils in Gauteng for grade 1 and grade 8. If you are watching this and you are in this situation, it is critically important. You have to respond to the offer if you've received one. Otherwise, as Heidi says, the system has an auto-accept and place situation that will kick in after the 30th, on the 30th of November. So in January, when you find your child going to a school that was perhaps for you option 3, don't be surprised. So act on this information now.